My name is Robert Patton-Spruills, and I was born and raised in Roxbury, Massachusetts. My dad was an acting and directing professor at BU. Before that, he was at Emerson. So as a kid, I kind of always grew up in higher education to a certain degree, so it always felt like a natural place for me to be. So, but because my dad was in theater, whenever there was a play that they were making or whatever, and they had a kid in it, guess who the kid would be? Because it would be the easiest, most convenient thing would be to put me in the play for him. So I was in the same way that if your parents own a carpet shop or a restaurant or something, you end up knowing a lot about carpet and restaurants. I ended up knowing a lot about theater and acting and things like that. I first started, I realized early on and was instilled in me that in the entertainment and business that you're not going to get paid by anybody else unless you've made yourself invaluable to them. Where they say to themselves, I can't do this job unless I have so-and-so with me. And so I first started for the casting director as an intern. And I would watch the way she would run the company and the way she would run things and try and look for ways to help her be more efficient, get the things she wanted done faster. Whatever. So she would say, write down a bunch of names on a piece of paper and say, go back into the file room and pull me all these people's pictures. So what it ended up doing is as I would refile the picture, I would look at the picture, then I would look at the phone number until I memorized it. And I memorized everybody's phone number for the top 150, 200 people she would call on a regular basis. And so once I had perfected it and had it together, and it took me about a month and a half of doing it on the regular, but once I had figured out how to do it, she gives me, I should call, she gets a job, calls me in the office, I sit down, I have my pad of paper and my pen. She says, I want this one, this one, this one, this one. I write it all down, then I took an extra second, I wrote in all their phone numbers, and I handed it to her. And she looked at it, looked at me, and said, how's $300 a week sound? So within a very short amount of time, I was working as a casting director, and she would get a job, and I would organize it, set it up, and then I would run. The other thing is that she was slightly technologically deficient, so I could run the video camera and videotape the auditions quite smoothly and effortlessly. So then I was doing that, and that was really good for my career because now I got to direct scenes all day long. And my big epiphany happened when I was working for a director named Frank Oz. He was directing a movie at the time called House Sitter, yeah. And I remember watching him direct the scenes. Now I'm just running the camera, I'm supposed to be quiet the whole time. I'm like, this guy's not all that. I mean, he's good and all, but I can do that, and I've been doing this my whole life. It's like, what am I doing? I'm a director. Like, I had this moment. So what that epiphany was, what am I doing working? I should be in grad school making movies. And I knew it would buy me 2 years to perfect my art and really learn what I was doing, make my own movies instead of working for Jan's movies or casting director things. And because I had lived this experience already, I was able to complete a 2-year program in a year. And so I had this year of freedom, and in that period I began working as an acting teacher for some kids in Dorchester at a youth center called the Dorchester Youth Collaborative. And so in the process of doing that, I decided to make my movie Squeeze. And we raised money the Friends and Family route, MCI as I like to call it, and made a low-budget feature film that we sold to Miramax. And that basically launched my career. I went out to Hollywood and I made the movie Body Count for the Showtime network, and I was semi-miserable out in Hollywood, and it just wasn't for me. I'm not money motivated, I guess. I'm motivated more about having fun, and if I make money in doing that, that's great. So anyway, so I came back to Boston, and I had some money in the bank, and I bought some real estate, but I needed, health insurance and things like that, and so teaching was a natural thing for me to do. And so I saw the only film school in Roxbury at the time was Massachusetts College of Art, so they actually had a job application in the community newspaper. So I applied for the job, and I was hired. And I've been lucky, like I get to teach like the flagship class at Emerson, directing actors for the screen. So it's like I have these huge waiting lists of people that want to, have that relationship where it's like we're going to do a mentor and apprentice relationship and make this happen. A famous filmmaker named Roger Corman said to me, He said, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to make commercial movies, go make commercials. You'll make more money, it'll be easier, and you'll have more fun in the long run doing it. If you want to make movies, go out and make movies. There's no one to stop you from doing it. There's no like person standing down at the street corner and says, movie makers cannot pass. So go make movies, and you'll find a way to do that. Ultimately, I'm a storyteller, and I never really like to describe myself as anything other than a storyteller, because if I'm not there with a movie camera, well, I'll do it with a still camera. You know, a still camera tells a picture with 1,000 words, so, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, so I'll do it with that. Oh, okay, so you don't want to do it? All right, I'll type it out then. I'll type it out. Oh, I don't have anything to type it out? All right, everyone hang out real close to me. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and pay attention because it's going to be a good one.